National Director of Priests for Life. Welcome to our afternoon broadcast. This is endabortion.tv. And as you know, we have members of our pastoral team meeting here this week, here in our Florida headquarters, and we have two of them with us right now for a little bit of conversation with you. Kevin Burke, Pastoral Associate, co-founder of Rachel's Vineyard, and helps us out especially with the Silent No More campaign. Kevin, welcome.
Thank you.
And Bryan Kemper, head of Stand True, pro-life youth outreach of Priests for Life. Bryan?
Hello, Father.
All right, so a lot of exciting things coming up. We're having these planning meetings because it's the end of the year. And we've got some good end-of-the-year reports to look at, don't we? I know the Rachel's Vineyard report came out, and Silent No More report, and the Stand True report. Yep. And Alvita King is here, and she's got her report. And we've got Maurice Smith with the international report. Janet just came back from Rome with a conference there. We've got reports on our incredible growth on social media, and many of our viewers are connecting with us right there, right now on these various media platforms. We've got all sorts of things we're talking about. And we're also preparing for some important events next month.
Oh, absolutely. The March for Life in Washington, D.C., the Walk for Life West Coast, and in fact, this year I'll be going first time to the March for Life Chicago to represent Priests for Life there.
That's right. Yes,
so we
yes.
got quite a few events.
Which day is that going? Is that before
11th.
the? That's
January
before
11th.
the big one, right?
So I'll be in Chicago, January 11th for the March for Life Chicago with the
a little bit of cold.
It's all right. I'll wear some Packers gear in Bears country, but no, we're excited for that and. All the events that go along with that.
The Chicago March for Life, it seems to me this year is going to be particularly significant because Illinois was one of those states earlier this year that passed one of the most radical, extreme abortion laws in the country, right? Saying that abortion is a fundamental right, yes. Which of course it's the most fundamental wrong, so they got it all topsy-turvy. But
in fact, they're having a full conference and exhibit area.
Yeah, I would think that's going to
really be beginning to be a big event. So if you're in that area, look it up and check out the March for Life Chicago. Come out, say hi to me, march with us, and I think it'd be great. You know,
in such a left-leaning state, we've got some great people in there. Of course, you mentioned the Scheidlers have been on the front lines for decades. But also, Peter Bryan was a state legislator. He has become one of his attorneys. But Peter, we knew him from many years ago, works with the Thomas More Society, pro-life law firm, and he was a key state legislator in Illinois recently for a number of years. We really respect him. And
Matt Yonke, there's some great people out there.
Yes. So you'll be going to that. That's really great. And Kevin, you'll be with us, of course, also in D.C. Great stuff is going to happen. We're going to go both to the March for Life and the Walk for Life. We're going to be getting on a plane that night.
We're getting up early in the morning. You're celebrating Mass at 7:30 a.m. in D.C. on Friday. So you're going to be up at like 5 something. We're going to go all day. We're going to march. We're going to do Silent No More testimonies. We're going to get on an airplane at 10 o'clock at night. We're going to land at 1 in the morning, get to our hotel, and within 4 or 5 hours, we're already at the next prayer vigil the next morning in San Francisco.
That's 1 o'clock in the morning, Pacific Coast.
Yeah, and by the time we get to the hotel, get to sleep, it'll be 2. And then I'm sure you're going to want us to meet for breakfast at, 4:30?
We're going to have an early breakfast.
Yeah, and then we're going to lead, it's our 3rd year doing our prayer vigil at the Planned Parenthood
Yes,
in San
that's
Francisco.
right.
It's getting bigger and bigger. And then off to the Silent No More testimonies, our booth, and the Walk for Life West
And I'm going to be
Coast.
one of the main speakers there.
Yes.
We're going to talk about the elections.
Absolutely.
2020.
And then we only got, a few days to get back, prepare, and we have our huge leaders meeting here. I mean, there's so much going on next
It's
month.
Incredible. Now, and Kevin, you've been writing some interesting things about, of course, you analyze a lot of what's going on from the vantage point of the woundedness that abortion brings, because it leads to all kinds of unbalanced behavior. Abortion does. Tell us one of the connections you made recently with all this stuff we see going on with impeachment.
Sure. If you've been watching the events coming out of D.C., I think it's apparent that the reaction of those who are going after Trump are becoming more irrational.
Yeah.
And there seems to be even more than just a disagreement on policy.
It's way beyond that.
It's being fed by some really dark emotions. Wouldn't you say that?
Absolutely.
Even a hatred of him.
Definitely.
Seeing him as this existential threat. it's really irrational to the facts of the situation. And what is feeding that? I've been doing, for over 20 years, we've been involved in abortion healing ministry. We hear the stories of thousands of people. We hear the themes of how abortion impacts their lives and how they deal with it. So just to be brief, if we look at the experience of a complicated grief. Now, when you lose someone normally, you know, there's religious rituals. You get support from family and friends. You talk about what happened. There's social supports. It's an acceptable process of going through grief. When we experience an abortion, it's a secret. You don't talk about it. You don't deal with your feelings. You repress them, you drink, you deal with them in different ways. What is one of the common ways that people don't deal with complicated grief? Anger.
Yes.
The anger that I see in opposition to Trump, I think, is rooted in two things. One is that so many of the people opposing him have been promoting abortion and have become even more radicalized lately in promoting abortion. Secondly, they're personally either have experienced abortion loss or they're complicit in pushing abortion on our population. In addition, we have a whole nation that has had 60 million abortions. There's very few people that have not been directly impacted by the loss of a child. So that dark emotion and that powerful emotion of complicated grief, I think, is a factor in the reaction to the president and their desire to, in a sense, abort him from office, to abort this president. And I'm not saying that, you know, to be clever. I really see that as true. That makes sense, Father.
Yeah, this is deep stuff. And I'm sure a lot of people I mean, there's a lot of people who know on one level, look, this is the most pro-life president we've ever had. And so, of course, the proponents of abortion want to get him out of office because they know that he's hurting their cause very badly, from the way he speaks about abortion and the way he takes money away from the abortion industry and the push that he's making to actually, I mean, he wants to sign legislation actually protecting these babies. But it's even deeper than that, like you're saying. It's this traumatic reaction to the abortion pain that so many of these people themselves have.
Yes, and what we've learned from folks who have been through healing is that they don't understand the connections and the behaviors and the ways that abortion was connected to problems and symptoms in their life until they have healing. Abortion fragments you internally in your life. And when you have healing, you make sense, you make connections. And so until there is healing, we're going to continue to see this division. We're going to continue to see this irrational reaction, and it's going to hurt our nation. So it's not only do we need individual healing, we need healing as a nation because this is a national trauma that needs healing. Just like we needed after 9/11. We had to come together as a nation and heal. Same with abortion.
So this is fueling a lot of this impeachment stuff because, like you say, it's completely irrational. I mean, like Roe versus Wade itself, it's a foregone conclusion in search of a rationale.
Exactly.
Roe v. Wade has no constitutional rationale whatsoever. And one of the things that shows that most clearly is precisely how the court has ruled on it in the 30 or so decisions since Roe v. Wade that deal with abortion. They keep shifting the reason why they think it should stay in place. So same thing with impeachment. First was quid pro quo, and then it was obstruction, and then they go on to something else, and then bribery, and then they dropped the bribery, and they forgot about the quid pro quo and the collusion, and now they're talking about other things. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know from a rational point of view, they don't know what they're doing. And this is the only thing that makes sense, is that they're working out of these deep, dark emotions and may not themselves even realize the connection.
Just as an individual after an abortion can become involved in self-destructive behavior, drink too much, be promiscuous, use their anger in ways that hurt others, they're actually hurting their party and they're hurting themselves politically.
Yeah, don't they see that? I mean, this is where people say, hey, come on, they've got to see, don't they see? Can't they read the polls? And what you're saying now, it makes sense why, they can read the polls all right, but they are literally fragmented in their ability to put two and two together.
Yeah, they're in a sense being driven by these powerful emotions. And when you've experienced trauma, sometimes your rational thinking is compromised. Until you can tell your story and grieve and heal, you can sometimes be be overly influenced by impulsivity and things of that nature. And I think that's what I see when I see these folks and their behavior, which is just kind of
it's fascinating.
crazy.
It's fascinating. So Bryan, as you mentioned, we're going to hear from some of the people who know this trauma in their own lives when we gather the Silent No More folks there in San Francisco. Just before the main rally on January 25th, we'll have at 10:45 a.m. These testimonies from Silent No More. We'll hear them the day before in Washington as well.
Right after the march.
Yeah, exactly. Where can people read that article that you wrote about all this?
Well, it'll be coming out this week.
It'll be coming out this week.
Yeah.
All right, so we're right on the cutting edge here, and it'll
Next
be
couple
up on
days.
your blog, right, which people
It'll
can
be
get
on
at
all
Preach
of
for
our
Life.
social media.
It'll be on our social media, and that's great. And your regular blog is there on preachforlife.org. And then, Bryan, we're also going to have, in the midst of all this activity, the youth rally, the March for Life, official youth rally. You have a big role in that. Preach for Life has a big role in that.
Well, I started the March for Life Youth Rally with Nellie Gray. It's something that I had talked to her about for years and was able to start and continue now every year. I'm the MC of the youth rally. I'm also speaking along with Abby Johnson and Allie Stuckey and quite a few other, Phil King, and there's going to be some surprise guests. We're going to have a band, and it's going to be at the Renaissance.
Okay.
Thursday afternoon at 2 to 4 at the Renaissance there in D.C.
Great.
It's going to be an amazing event, and we're going to educate, activate, and equip young people to be a voice for the end of abortion. And it's geared towards junior high, high school, college age. And there's something for everybody. We encourage everyone to go to the March for Life website and register for that. It will fill up fast. And it's an exciting event, and I think there's going to be a couple of cool surprises there that we'll see.
Yeah.
So I'll be giving away some free pro-life T-shirts when I'm up there,
Okay.
and some other stuff. And then right after or right before the youth rally, they can come to our booth and meet you and Kevin and myself, and all of our staff will be there. And we'd love to have everybody, especially if you see us on this broadcast, come tell us. Come to our booth and say, hey, I saw you guys on the broadcast. We'd love to get a picture with you. We'd love to talk to you. Maybe even sign a book or something for them. But, I would love to meet everybody that watches these broadcasts and be able to connect with them on social media.
Yeah, that'll be fun. We have various people giving some notes here to us. Let's see. What is that?
Oh, Hillary from New Zealand. She had me out for a speaking tour.
We have some New Zealanders
She's
watching.
she's gonna join as a pro-life MP next year. Hey, you got my support, Hillary.
Isn't that
Absolutely.
great? Isn't that
She's one of the
excellent?
most dynamic, amazing people in New Zealand.
Yeah.
Just really on fire for the Lord, and I got to speak at her church and tour the country speaking with her. She's awesome. I hope you get to meet her too someday.
Yeah. And of course, I had a great trip there back. Oh my goodness, it's already 25 years ago. I was out there. A lot of you give us your prayer intentions, and we want you to know that we're lifting you up in prayer each day. Our Preach for Life team does that. Casey's saying she would love to meet us as well. Okay, we're looking forward to that. And all of us are praying for you each day. We have a special website, prayerintentions.org. You can give us your prayer intentions as often as you want, as many intentions as you have, and we will be happy to keep those intentions lifted up to the Lord. So we'll continue with our meetings, getting ready, all these things. We're going to have some good T-shirts there, as you mentioned, and we're going to also... Tell us, because we've all been working on this right here in this studio, tell us about the videos that we've prepared for the folks coming to the March for Life on the buses.
Yeah, if you get on one of those airplanes where there's no TV, there's no entertainment, you're just sitting there like, bored. I think it's cool that we're actually providing content, education, lots of stuff on a DVD for the buses. So people that are riding a bus to DC will have a DVD watch with lots of information, and then a recap with new information for the bus ride back. So if anybody is riding on a bus to DC, whether your school, your church, your parish, whatever, make sure they know they could get a free copy of each DVD with some other little gifts also.
Right.
We'll send them so you guys have something to watch and prepare yourself for the march. What's
Well,
the
so
best
the
way-
people who are organizing buses, we
Yeah.
call them bus captains, and what we're putting together, we're calling a bus kit.
Mm-hmm.
So if they go to preachforlife.org/bus kit, preachforlife.org/bus kit, they can sign up for this, and we'll send them the 2 DVDs. We'll send them prayer cards that can be prayed on the way down and on the way back, and some other prayer resources too. For the clergy on the bus, we have a book on preaching about abortion
That's
that we'll
great.
give them.
free, right?
Yep. And then we'll have a few other books there that the organizers can use. So this has met with great response in the past. People tell us, "Oh, we watched your video coming down," because, like you say, the video going to DC gives them a little bit of the history of the march, the purpose of the march, gets them ready to understand what they're going to see. Because once you're immersed in that during those days, it's like a kaleidoscope of all these different events, and it may be hard, especially for a first timer, to appreciate it all and make it all make sense. The video will help you to prepare for that. The way back, the video going back, says, okay, we just marched. Now, what do we do to save these
Yep.
babies the rest of the year?
Beautiful.
And it'll be chock full of suggestions for activities and resources and so forth. So great. Well, thank you both for the discussion and for the work that we're doing during this week and all throughout the year. Let's again assure you, friends, of not only our prayers, but our active support with you throughout the year and, as we've just seen, throughout the world for your pro-life work. And now we want to give you the Lord's blessing. May He bless and protect you, strengthen you, and make you effective witnesses for the lives and rights of the children in the womb. And may He bless you, the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit.
Amen.
Amen.
This is Bryan Kemper, Kevin Burke, and Father Frank Pavone of Priests for Life. Have a great day.